Picture the sun-bleached calm of Montecito, suddenly shattered by a 911 call no tabloid had yet intercepted. Inside a gated villa, framed by million-dollar eucalyptus, security veteran David Langdown, stoic, ex-Scotland Yard, medal from the late Queen still gleaming in a shadow box, finds his principal, Prince Harry. Face down on imported marble, pulse thready, pupils slack. Paramedics arrive, whisper code phrases, slip him onto a gurney, then speed toward Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital while journalists remain clueless, and neighbors wonder why a helicopter's rotors shred their quiet evening air. Before the IV line even drips, Royal Protection officers in London are phoning Los Angeles lawyers, and Buckingham Palace staffers are drafting preemptive no-comment statements in case the story leaks. Hours later, Harry stabilizes. But the rumors sprint faster than any ambulance. One version says the Duke collapsed after an accidental mix of prescription painkillers and high-proof tequila. Another claims he experimented with a stronger, illicit white powder that someone in his dwindling circle still calls Bolivian courage. None of it is confirmed, yet none of it feels impossible given the prince's own admissions. What electrifies social media, though, isn't Harry's relapse. It's the surveillance image TMZ swears it's trying to buy. Meghan Markle, all pastel silk and curated nonchalance, laughing with friends at an ultra-exclusive members-only lounge in West Hollywood during the exact window her husband fought for consciousness. Opposite energies on the same night. One spouse under fluorescent trauma lights, the other beneath artisan chandeliers sipping craft cocktails. Insiders whisper that Meghan left home minutes after Langdown sounded the alarm, telling household staff she needed fresh air. Publicists later insist she was filming content for a brand partnership, but the timeline feels too convenient, almost staged. Damage control experts call it an instant alibi, royal traditionalists call it abandonment. Either way, the optics are brutal. The Duchess networking while the Duke convulses. That single contrast rockets the story from private scare to full-blown scandal because Harry's history with substances isn't tabloid myth, it's straight from his own memoir. He wrote about weed in palace gardens, vodka shots that blurred into oblivion, even psychedelic retreats where ayahuasca opened locked rooms in his mind. He joked on late-night TV about dabbling in mushroom chocolate and confessed to Oprah that numbing agents once felt like therapy. Each admission charmed audiences who love a reformed rebel, yet each also provided breadcrumbs for immigration watchdogs who later argued the prince might have skirted U.S. visa rules that bar applicants admitting to narcotic use. The Heritage Foundation sued Homeland Security for his paperwork, alleging preferential treatment. Officials released a bundle of heavily blacked-out pages, privacy, national security, redacted to ink-stained lace, leaving everyone to guess whether Harry had been entirely truthful or royally exempt. Critics cried double standard. Supporters cited mental health bravery. What no one expected was an ambulance cameo months later that made the policy debate suddenly feel life or death. Langdown's role in this drama can't be overstated. He's the figure quietly woven through Harry's wildest chapters, leaving nightclubs at dawn, corralling him after Vegas bachelor party photos leaked, jogging beside him through Afghan sand when snipers tracked every heat signature. Friends say the bodyguard sometimes felt more like an older brother, the one person who couldn't be fired for speaking harsh truths. It's Langdown who allegedly found the hidden stash of prescription sedatives last winter and begged Harry to slow down. It's Langdown who, according to staff, forced open a bathroom door 2 summers ago when the Duke passed out after chasing insomnia tablets with craft gin. Twice he tried to persuade management at Netflix to add a recovery-focused clause to Harry's production schedule. Twice the suggestion disappeared in revisions. Why so many red flags, yet so little intervention? Because, insiders argue, Harry's pain is monetizable. Streaming services pay 9-figure deals for confessional documentaries. Publishers salivate over trauma-laced chapters that guarantee global pre-orders. A healthy, quietly healing prince isn't content. A conflicted, unpredictable one sells. And if the Duchess is strategically managing brand Sussex, then vulnerability is their most bankable asset, right up until it almost kills him. Yet Meghan's alleged influence stretches back further than Montecito. Wedding guests in Jamaica still recount the surreal moment they discovered handmade joints tucked into gift pouches beside sunblock and flip-flop vouchers. College acquaintances remember her praising microdosing as spiritual altitude. Her mother, Doria, friendly yet enigmatic, is said to maintain old wellness community contacts in LA who blur the line between holistic remedies and pharmaceutical freelancing. No hard evidence, just consistent whispers. And in Hollywood, whispers shape reputations faster than press releases. The palace, meanwhile, is caught in a historic bind. For decades, its crisis protocol relied on opaque courtiers who smothered sparks before flames. When teenage Harry wore that infamous costume, aides shifted attention to charity visits. When he allegedly inhaled nitrous oxide intended for maternity patients during a hospital tour, the press was steered toward William's helicopter rescue mission. But the Sussexes severed that protective contract when they bolted for California and Spotify sponsorships. Now, if Harry's downward spiral becomes public record, police reports, toxicology readings, credit card receipts for questionable pharmacies, the palace can neither shield him nor scold him without appearing hypocritical. Their best option, strategists say, is muteness. Inside Montecito's oak-lined streets, however, silence feels predatory. Neighbors whisper about late-night deliveries, about unfamiliar SUVs idling with engines running, about Harry jogging alone at 3 a.m., then returning glassy-eyed. A landscaper claims the prince once stumbled barefoot across dewy grass, muttering that the paparazzi are in the trees, even though no cameras were visible. Therapists who study trauma watch this saga with professional dread. They note Harry's unresolved grief over Princess Diana, his combustible relationship with the tabloid press, his abrupt military-to-celebrity whiplash, and his public estrangement from a father now battling serious illness, all ingredients for relapse. Add a spouse rumored to weaponize his insecurities, and the prognosis darkens. One clinician warned on Twitter that a combination of benzodiazepines, alcohol, and stimulant powders can stop breathing in under 5 minutes, especially if the user has a history of chronic stress and insomnia. 5 minutes. That's how close Langdown might have come to losing him. Meanwhile, legal teams on both continents are gaming out worst-case scenarios. If hospital staff file mandatory reports, county authorities could open an investigation. If immigration officials review new medical records, Harry's residency status could be scrutinized anew. If divorce lawyers enter the scene, everything from text messages to therapy invoices becomes discoverable. And hanging over it all is the monarchy's dread that a paparazzo might someday capture footage of the Duke in full collapse, a viral image to rival the Vegas billiard table fiasco, but with blue hospital lights instead of neon. In public, Harry has preached mental health openness, urging veterans to seek help and encouraging teenagers to share feelings before substances silence them. Those speeches ring tragically prophetic today. He told Oprah that therapy broke the cycle. He told school kids that asking for help is courage. Yet, courage also means accepting help offered, even when ego or dependency snarls in refusal. Sources close to the Sussex household claim private rehab facilities have reached out quietly. So far, nothing's booked. And what of Meghan in this moral thunderstorm? Her defenders insist she's overwhelmed, unfairly blamed for a grown man's choices. Her critics counter that she curated the California dream: wellness summits, A-list fundraisers, influencer brunches, yet seem to omit the wellness of the one person whose title underwrites the lifestyle. The truth likely spools somewhere between exploitation and exhaustion. But perception is destiny in royal narratives. And right now, perception is brutal. If Harry reemerges on camera weeks from now, rosy-cheeked, joking about a little health scare, skeptics will dissect every blink. If Meghan drops a slick podcast on empathy next month, headlines will scrawl comparisons between self-help slogans and spousal neglect. If Netflix releases their next docuseries without addressing the incident, viewers will hunt for edits that mask his frailty. The longer the silence, the louder the conjecture. and the more lucrative the exclusives when someone finally breaks ranks. What's clear beneath the rumor fog is that a prince once adored for his mischievous grin is now living a slow-motion tragedy, and the outcome isn't guaranteed. Addiction stories end three ways: recovery, incarceration, or obituary. Royal status shields against jail and softens obituaries, but it can't detox a bloodstream or mend a psyche. Only honesty, medical science, and unwavering support do that. Langdown seems ready. Whether Meghan is, whether the palace is, whether Harry himself is, those answers remain as hidden as his redacted visa file. If they choose secrecy again, the fallout will keep spiraling. Lawsuits over immigration privilege, think tank campaigns, estranged relatives hawking secondhand intel, children who grow up reading their father's overdose rumors instead of fairy tale biographies. But if they choose transparency, acknowledging relapse, entering treatment, letting professionals speak instead of PR flacks, they could flip this narrative from disgrace to redemption, inspiring thousands who see their own struggles in the prince's haunted eyes. Time is thin. Another binge, another panic attack, another accidental cocktail of benzos and booze could tilt the story past rescue. The man who once strutted behind Diana's casket showing stoic bravery may now be one mistake from a far quieter procession. And if that nightmare unfolds, blame will cling to every enabler who priced reputation above rehabilitation. For now, the Montecito estate has gone strangely dark at night. No parties, no security headlights sweeping the drive. Some say Harry's sleeping under medical supervision. Others claim he's flown to a desert spa, where cell phones are surrendered at check-in. Either scenario ends the same: a man staring at the ceiling, haunted by the mothers he's lost, the bridges he's burned, and the headlines waiting outside the gate. The question is no longer whether the fairy tale rebel has a crisis. It's whether anyone in his orbit will love him enough to stop monetizing the meltdown and start demanding meaningful change. Because if they don't, the next siren screaming up that hillside may not arrive in time. And the House of Windsor will discover that even centuries-old crowns can't muffle the echo of a tragedy the world was allowed to watch in real time. Bulletproof strategy? It was never bulletproof. It was bubble wrap, shiny, distracting, and far too easy to pop. Now every popped bubble is a rumor, every rumor a headline, and every headline one step closer to a legacy no amount of royal spin can gild. If Montecito's gates echo with sirens again, they won't just signal another emergency. They'll announce the moment the last layer of royal insulation finally burst under the weight of secrets it was never built to contain.